Hey everyone, Ronnie Chavez here again for another tutorial on the wall flip. Wall flip is one of my favorite tricks to do because anywhere there's a wall, you can do a sweet looking wall flip. And I always like to think I'm like in the Matrix or Spider-Man or something whenever I'm doing wall tricks. So anyways, we're just going to be doing the basic wall backflip in this tutorial. So the prerequisite for this move is to have a basic backflip down. Especially having it down on flat ground. If you can already do a standing back tuck, the wall flip's going to go by a lot easier. Because with the technique of using a wall, it actually makes the backflip a lot easier. You just have to make sure you use the wall correctly. So, first up, I got this beautiful wall right here. Now you want to find a wall that's going to be pretty grippy. This one has this rough carpeted material, so the grip is actually pretty good. But anywhere you go, you just want to make sure you're going to have a guaranteed grip, because if your foot slips during a wall flip, there's not much chance you can recover from it. So it's really important that you have proper grip. I've seen a lot of videos of guys doing wall flips and their foot slips, and every time flat on their back or on their head. So you really want to make sure you're going to get a good setup, and then also even use some padding if it's available. You know, at the very least onto soft grass, but I would recommend learning this in a gym with a sloped cheese mat, or even if you just have a mattress to throw down. Whatever it is, just be cautious and safe. You have your basic backflip technique down and you're ready to learn it off a wall. So the first thing to take note with doing the wall flip is your run up to the wall. So when you're coming up to a wall, generally you don't need a ton of speed for wall flips. It mostly just depends on how high you want to get in the air, but generally you don't need a ton of speed, just a little bit of momentum to push you against the wall and back off of it. The momentum is what's going to help give you extra grip to the wall as well, because if you're just standing here, you know, your foot will slip naturally, but if you have momentum into the wall, it's going to allow you to stick against it for enough time to go into the wall flip. So you have a little bit of momentum, and then next, your takeoff leg. Generally my jumping leg is the leg I like to have on the wall. It doesn't really matter so much so long as you feel comfortable with that foot on the wall. So for me it's my right leg. Now when I come up to the wall, my height of my foot on the wall is going to be about hip height. It's going to be about right here. It can be a little bit lower depending on how much momentum you have, or a little bit higher if you're jumping up into it. But generally you want your foot right out in front of you so you're pushing against it. If it's too low, then you run the risk of your foot slipping down. Too high, and what's going to happen is it's going to push you into the ground and you're not going to get proper height off of it. So to first start off, just get a practice step up the wall like you're doing a wall run. So you can just get the feel of stepping off the wall with your momentum and getting the height. As you're running up to the wall, you're going to begin going into your backflip technique. If you remember our backflip technique, we jump up, swing our arms, set tall, and then tuck through. So same thing here. I'm going to begin bringing my arms back so that as I step off the wall, I can bring them up and go into the flip. The timing is going to be a little bit later with the arms because I'm not flipping from the ground, I'm flipping from off the wall. So I come up and I'm going to set up just like I would a normal backflip, and then as I kick off the wall with this foot to give me my push and height, my other leg is going to drive through to help give me flip over. So it can either be a kick or a drive of your knee, whatever it is, you're going to tuck your knees through to help you flip over. Okay, so a few common problems people have is one, they'll cheat into the flip too early where they're leaning back as they're running towards the wall. If you do that, you're not going to get the proper height and you're going to fall a lot faster, so it'll be a lot harder to get the flip around. Another problem people have is they put their foot too high on the wall, because it feels like if you put your foot high on the wall, it'll help you get more height. Wrong. If your foot's higher on the wall, you're pushing against the wall and your body's down here, so there's no way you're going to get height with your foot high on the wall. It's going to push you down into the ground. So it's really important that your foot isn't too high on the wall. The next thing is that you set up, that you're jumping up off the wall. You're not just pushing back and trying to flip over, but you're actually pushing up. And there's actually a combination of jumping technique here. You're jumping off your left leg to get extra height, and then pushing again off the wall. So you're getting height from your jump on the ground and height from off the wall. And then from there is when once your foot starts hitting the wall, you then can start leaning back and setting up into the flip and kick over. There's also a couple variations to the wall flip. Right now I'm just focusing on the wall flip tuck, but there's also a kick out, which I find is pretty simple if you do it right. So when you're doing the kick out, instead of driving your knee through and tucking around, you're actually going to swing your leg all the way through and land on it in a kick out. Those ones you tend to not need as much height because your leg kicking you around will whip you around pretty fast, but they can be a little bit more technical. So if you're familiar with just a standing back tuck, then I would focus on those first, and then you can start learning the variations to the wall flip. So my dad, the Silver Fox, has also been working on the wall flip. Just check out his progress at the gym. So if my dad, who's almost 50, can start learning the wall flip, I know you guys can too. It just takes practice and determination, and just make sure you practice safely. I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm now sponsored by Take Flight. They're the ones who provided me with this sweet parkour shirt, as well as these free running sweatpants. They're pretty awesome. So if you want to buy some yourself, I have a link for you in the description below. But otherwise, be sure to subscribe for more tutorials, and thanks for watching.